like and subscribe on Warchant TV. Helps others find the show, helps us better present the show and all that we do on Warchant. And, of course, if you're listening on radio, we appreciate our radio partners and all of you listening in your cars, driving around. Maybe you're delivering packages, even still, late. They got their stuff out late. Quick, drop it off. Let that family know you still care about them, whatever it might be. Happy New Year to everybody. Where do we begin? There's a lot. Tom and I were just talking about this. Like, most of the time, when you're in the flow of the show and the day-to-day operation of the show, when you get things started, you have a sense of, here's the lead. This is what I'm going to open with. Let's then, we'll probably pivot here, and then we'll talk a little bit about that basketball team, which got a road win against NC State, which, by the way, felt a lot bigger than it should have. But that's what happens when you're trying to survive a round. When you're trying to survive a round and you're up against it, and the other guy is just throwing fury, and you got your elbows up, and you're saying, come on, man, ring the bell. If you get to that next one, you feel pretty good about it. And that's what it felt like going into that game, that Florida State had to find a way to survive and win a basketball game, and in the hopes of staving off the ding-ding. I could see him. He was, early on, the ding-ding was kind of peering out from the Capitol like, you guys all right over there? Looking a little shaky. May need me to give you a ride. Then the ding-ding was standing proud, like in the way. You're trying to get in the door. There he is. Like, what? What's the problem? That win kind of staves him off a little bit for now. Just now, that's all it is. Then you've got receivers, some with speed, according to their measurables, saying yes to Florida State. Now, this was something that had to happen, that we knew would happen, but a lot has happened since we last spoke. I had the damn flu, not COVID. I would tell you if I had COVID. I didn't. I had the flu. I thought I had COVID. The week before the New Year's break, the scheduled break for all of this, I was going to be doing shows through Wednesday, and then we were going to take Thursday, Friday off, and then that whole last week like we did. But I couldn't function. I thought, breakthrough case, but it wasn't. I went and did the drive-through test, and it turned out, nope, healthy as a horse, just had the flu. So I guess it wasn't healthy as a horse, but it sucked.
Yeah, healthy as a flu-ridden horse.
Yeah. So I was laid up. I was trying to watch shows and read books in between sleeping long hours, and watch a little football along the way.
Frankly, I think the lead is how comfy it looks in that side of the studio now. Look
so
at
much
you.
better. It is so much
den.
better. Well, this was a goal of mine in the offseason. This is what we talked about during the break. I thought we needed to make this thing feel a little bit more like a den, like you were comfortable having a conversation. Because this show is one long, always interesting, insightful, and entertaining conversation between the listeners and the viewers, the fine folks at 93.3 that are listening every day, and the Warchant TV folks. It's all of that. And then, of course, it's between you and me. Occasionally, Director Matthew will pipe in with a little something.
Oh, with his playoff Philadelphia Eagles now.
That's true.
They are in the playoffs.
They have navigated their way despite being down 10-0 on the road in Washington. They rise up.
They said it couldn't be done.
Fly, Eagles, fly. They're in. And hell, their own fans tried to take out the starting quarterback as he's walking off the field. Well, that's because most fans, like most Americans, are fat. And you saw that happen.
Well, and also because the facilities for the Washington football team are what you'd expect.
Landover.
Yeah.
Let's take it out to Landover.
The poise with which he dealt with that, though, that makes me feel better about Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. Odd place to lead here, but he dealt with that in stride. He picked the people up. Hey, you okay? All right, let's do a selfie. That sounds good.
Yeah,
we're in for a selfie.
Handled it well. Problem is, we're on the cusp of going to the playoffs. I'm not hugging fat people that fall over a railing. I'm trying to get into that locker room as quick as possible. I'm trying to keep it together. Like, hey, man, I don't know where you've been. I don't know what your thought process is. I've got to be right. We're trying to win games around here.
I know you're going to hate me in about 6 games.
Yeah.
Maybe after the playoff loss, you're going to hate me. So this is a very temporary thing. Mm-hmm. Get away from me.
Yep. So, yeah, FedEx Field is a dangerous dump. Live Spectator is correct about that. I think that's true.
It is the NFL equivalent of South Bend. That's what this field and stadium is. Yes, the old RFK.
Carol said, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. Heard we have new arrivals already on campus to add some talent and momentum for the 2022 football season. Where are you after bowl season here? We've still got the national championship game to be played. Listen, the playoffs, nothing new there in the college football playoffs. There's always at least one ass kicking. This time it was two. Now, I'll tell you where I am. I had Georgia before the season began to win the national championship. So that win over Michigan was very important, Tom, because you remembered my plus 800 to win the national title.
Well, how could I forget? We got a reminder every 3 days.
So it's still alive. And, of course, I had some other good things happen. I had Georgia against Michigan. I laid the 7.5. The more I thought about the game, I pivoted and really thought Georgia would kill Michigan. And they did. And you know that because I said it on the golf course to you at Capital City. And I placed a little wager.
We were agreeing on this fact.
Yeah.
Because
the more I thought about it, I thought Cade McNamara is not going to be able to throw the football against this team. And if they want to run, they're not going to run against Georgia.
Correct. I did a short video for the College Sportsbook, your land over there. I had a 3-day green card. I went over to College Sportsbookville, USA.
Yeah.
And I did a short video that showed and broke down how anytime Michigan faced any run defense that was even close to Georgia, in the realm of Georgia, Wisconsin is. Wisconsin, and they get, take the unders. It was individual unders. Play the unders on both of their backs, and they both hit, and then some.
Yeah, so you were using Prize Picks, and I will tell you that if you guys are going to start, continuing to follow, go follow and like and really celebrate and champion and send to everybody on earth the College Sportsbook videos that we do. It's very important that you do that. In your daily life, it's important that you do that. And of course, it aids me. So we're going to do that as often as possible.
Yeah, I might get another temporary visa if you do more of them.
You never know. You never know, by the way. Like, you wake up in the morning. Like, the new year is always about starting new routines. Now, I didn't have a new routine this morning. I went straight to Orange Theory Fitness, but I did eat better after my workout than I had been towards the end of the year.
That's bran? What, you have bran flakes?
No, I didn't have bran. I had smoked salmon over eggs, and it was delicious. I made that myself. Like the badass that I am in the kitchen these days. And it was unbelievable. That smoked salmon in there with the eggs. Oh, forget about it. So, but the point is, went to Orange Theory Fitness, as I'm wont to do, got my workout on, and then came in here. But I did want to develop habits that benefit us all. So, for example, you guys, every day that you wake up, maybe you have a French press coffee. Maybe that's what you do. If you don't, that's what I do. Now, here's the thing. While you're thinking about that coffee and how good it's going to taste.
You would like a French press coffee.
Oh, absolutely. It's great. It's a process. It gets you ease into your day. So it requires a little work of you. You get in there, you muscle that coffee.
They call it surrender in a mug.
Yeah. So here's the beauty. When you do that, the thing I would tell you is this. You go right over to your YouTube feed and you hit like and subscribe to College Sportsbook. That's how you start your day every day. And maybe you've missed a video. Maybe you missed a video that, Jeff posted another one last night, as he's wont to do. Let me like and subscribe. Let me click and retweet that and tell everybody about it.
Well,
while you're drinking your French press coffee.
After you head to Warchant TV first. I'm sorry. We've got to prioritize this. You could click over to multiple places, though. The internet's an amazing thing. Many clicks take you many different places. Mm-hmm. But like and subscribe to Warchant TV first. Hell, use your work email, your regular email.
Just put it on in the background and let it play.
There you go.
A little time spent listening, as they say in the radio biz. Just let it just go, a little TSL. You let that thing ride, and then, we get credit for that. And then it hops to the next video.
I think we should also have a feature of you cooking breakfast and you've got little recipes. Because if you're, the badass.
I've become one. I'm becoming better and better, yeah.
Kitchen Cameron. There it is.
Well, okay, I can, I'm in on that. By the way, I wanted to. So Phil sent me. Now I want you to see this date. So Phil sent this to me.
Can't see it, but I'll trust you.
January 1st on Twitter. If you follow @JCameronShow, you'll see Phil Jacobs. Noles Centric is his name. He said, "So any teaser pleasers for tomorrow?" Asking for a friend. This was late on a Saturday night, Tom. And I did not celebrate much on New Year's. I was subdued on New Year's. I had one beer on New Year's Eve.
What happened to you?
I had one beer. I was tired. I just decided I'm going to chill out. I made a big meal for the family. And we just hung out. I had some scallops, Tom. Big old. and a bunch of scallops. And then from there, we had other things too. But the point would be, we all wolfed down those scallops, and then we played board games, me and the family. It was just Yahtzee, a lot of Yahtzee. The kids never get tired of Yahtzee, and neither do I, believe it or not. I never get tired of Yahtzee.
Yeah, because it's like dice.
Well, it's fun. Yeah, I like dice. Yeah. I also like Uno, Tom. Never get tired of Uno. I can play Uno all day long. I love slapping somebody with a draw 4. Nothing better. Just, you know what? I'm the worst. I'll say it every time, too. I'm like, suck it. Every time I drop that draw 4, I mean, suck it. There you go. Get you some of that. Oh, here's a little draw 2 after that. So, yeah, that's fun. We did that. Hung out.
I got worked on Christmas in Scrabble. I got worked.
Oh, man. Well, you're married to a PhD.
I am. Well, yes, but I'm destroying the entire game. Plays all 7 tiles to close out the game, which is a 50-point automatic bonus. It was a ridiculous turn. I had a 30-point lead and I lost.
She should have said what I say when I dropped the draw 4. So right then and there.
Get you some ice cream. There you go.
Yeah. So that happened. But then Saturday, New Year's Day itself, I got a little loose. Not crazy, but I was home and it was relaxing and we were watching football all day. Just a little nice time to have a little fun. And so I did.
A little bit of hoops.
A little bit of everything. So this guy, Phil, says to me, hey, man, you have any teaser pleasers for tomorrow? And I answered back at 2:00 in the morning. And so, by the way, I wrote a 6-point teaser pleaser. Now, you know this one. Bengals plus 10.5. Falcons plus 20. Man, you could just tease these babies up. And then 49ers minus 5.5. 49ers minus 5.5. And ba-dow! That hits right away. So the guy writes back, my man, and he throws up his teaser pleaser that he stole from me, or that I advised. Look at that. Look at that, Tom. Look at that. It's on the camera there.
No, it kind of is.
Well,
you'll have to explain to me. I see a laptop and some icons.
Yeah, but anyhow, he's got
teach you how to share the tabs.
He's got his bet ticket, and it's green check, and he just wrote check, and he wrote back, my man. I was like, that's
what did he throw down?
I didn't ask him what he threw down. He didn't. He hid that from me.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, but you know what? I'm not gonna shame his wagering habits. I don't know. He might have put 10 grand, might have put $5. I don't know what he did.
Well, but if it's 10 grand, then he can ask for a little percentage, you know, at $5, you're like, yeah, you're welcome, pal.
So then he thanked me and I wrote, that's what I do, my man. And he wrote back, I know, that's why I asked. Can't wait to hear you back on the airwaves. So here we are. So we're doing it up. I have a second 6-point teaser pleaser that's going to hit tonight. Now I may have just cursed it by saying this, but the first 2 legs, it was a 3-team 6-point teaser pleaser. First 2, no problem. Green Bay was the second leg of that teaser pleaser. But tonight, I had the Steelers plus 9.5. Teased it up to 9. I feel good about it.
And the Browns are eliminated, so it's spoiler only.
I would like to think this is that, right? It's over. Plus 9.5. Feel really good about it. So we'll see. That would be back-to-back 3-team 6-point teaser pleasers to start the new year. That is doing some things.
And you're doing the show from a den.
And I'm doing the show from a den from here on out. Seth, thank you. He's writing, do I have any dry January, folks, or is it just me?
Woo!
I don't commit to dry months. Some people like to commit, but we live here on Earth amongst other people.
You've done it before, though.
I have. I beat Matt Millar's ass one year. We did it. I said that I wouldn't drink he said I couldn't not drink for 30 days. I said I could easily do it. I'm worried about you. And then we went back and forth. We were arguing with each other. And then not only did I do it, I one-upped him. I ended up not drinking for like 46 days. Something absurd. That's ridiculous. But anyhow, I did that just to be an a-hole, just to prove not only could I do it, but I'll go over the top. I'll go the whole year. So anyhow, did that. But I'm not ever going to do it again. So I've decided it's never going to happen. There's no reason for it. Just you got to keep it you're going to keep it together for a week at a time. Like, you want to get a little loose on a Saturday after you've been good. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, then hell, get a little loose on a Saturday and make 3-team teaser pleaser bets that you share to people on Twitter, and everybody celebrates together on Monday. College football playoffs, Florida State basketball and football. We'll get the conversation started for real in a moment. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, and Warchant TV.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and heart. We don't ever quit until we've got nothing left to give. Our team is unstoppable. Want a guaranteed win? Call T-Spark Enterprises for your next roofing or construction project. We conquer all peaks. TSparkConstruction.com. License number CCC 1331204.
Hi, I'm Andy Cohen with Florida Farm Bureau Insurance. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. And as an agent with Florida Farm Bureau, I'm continuing that promise. Farm Bureau Insurance has been protecting what matters most for over 75 years. Your home, your auto, your family, your life. Who's protecting you? Give me a call, 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. At Florida Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
Give your business a facelift with a modern, consistent, creative brand overhaul from Curiosity Marketing Group. These days, it's not enough for your business just to have a standard website or a Google listing to reach your customers. Your business needs to stand out with eye-popping branding, modern web development, and strong marketing. And it takes a team to pull it all together. Words and websites matter. At Curiosity, we make the most of yours. Find out more at curiositymg.com.
I used to fight almost on a daily basis working on my business website. I'm a pretty smart guy, but I could never get it to function the way I needed it to, and I was losing customers because of it. That's when I called Curiosity Marketing. They listened, they understood, we collaborated, and in the end, they delivered beyond my highest expectations. Now, I can barely keep up with the work. They say the future belongs to the curious, and now I'm excited about the future of my business.
Find out more at curiositymg.com.
When you need a plumber quick, how long is an acceptable time to have to wait?
Yeah, hey, it's the Millers again. Just calling you about our little plumbing problem.
2 hours?
Hey, we were hoping you can get here soon because the water is getting really bad. I mean, please hurry.
4 hours?
I know you said you were on your way, but, honey, tell the kids to tread water.
8 hours?
Don't worry about us. We're fine.
At M&L Plumbing, you'll never have to wait long for quality, dependable service right when you need it. At M&L Plumbing, we listen to our customers, and our qualified technicians aim to achieve 100% customer satisfaction. So the next time you need plumbing work or repairs, think of the name M&L Plumbing, your local plumbing experts, commercial or residential. Give us a call, 850-575-9393, or visit us online at mndlplumbing.com. M&L Plumbing, for all of your plumbing needs.
Our partners at ISF know you want to do amazing things. You have big ideas and goals for the future. For over 40 years, ISF has focused on solving the future for state government through strategy, process, and technology. As a national management and IT consulting firm, ISF has the expertise to transform strategies, refine processes, and implement solutions to lead you in today's changing environment. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Yeah, I had a buddy call me from down south. Who you got? Well, I don't know. I think Team Icons are in trouble. No. Duffy's playing for Team Icons, I said, Steve. That's not correct. He's going to lead Under Armour to a big win. And he did. Played well, especially early.
He's more fluid than I thought.
A little bit more fluid.
Transitioning from pass to run. Yeah, that's nice. That's going to translate. I don't know about now. I look forward to spring, though. He's going to be here. You get to cover him for spring camp. We get to watch those practices in the spring game. He upped the chances of making it interesting in fall camp, I think, just a little bit by putting that performance out before the world. It's not like he didn't do great in practice. In fact, what everybody who was down there was talking about was his performances in the practices day for day. He was the best quarterback of anybody down there at Under Armour All-America camp. But we'll see. I think he's gone from long shot to, you never know.
He's not going to start this year, Tom. But I'll tell you something. Here's what I'll say. I do get excited to see sort of the raw tools. So that's where I stop, because I think we've all had our fair share of disappointment covering this team, following this team. We've projected any number of young men based on practices, to where we think they can play at a level in a game that is going to get us to a place where we're comfortable. So I'm not going to put that on them just yet. And I'm not going to put that expectation in my mind, but I do look for raw tools that then project at some point to translate nicely in the college game. And so if you don't see that early on in these types of practices or settings, then you're going to be very concerned. That's not apt to get better as the competition gets better. You need to see that they have, at the very least, those fundamental tools that do translate, that skill set that will improve over time and reps and obviously practice. So, yes, I see that, and I'll leave it there, and I'll get excited about that, and maybe, just maybe, he could be used in some packages, something like that. I mean, this is Jordan Travis's team. We know that. We know when they did not go out and bring in a transfer portal quarterback in, that they have decided that that's who they're going with.
Simply put, for me, and it's kind of what you're saying, but I just see a higher floor. I see a higher floor from this prospect than some of the others that have come in, where I think, okay, all is not lost if this kid needs to play in a pinch next year. There's a lot of things you could see how he fits in the offense. Mm-hmm. Even though you're playing in an all-star game,
sure,
you can see where he fits into the offense.
Yeah, the bigger picture of what they want to run, what they haven't been able to run. Does the skill set fit that? What he ran at Memphis? Yeah, okay. I see where you're working there. It's the eggs in the basket are going to be whether or not Jordan Travis continues to improve as a passer like he did it late in the year. Still not great at it,
but much better. And if you've got receivers who can win a one-on-one every once in a while, 1 out of 3 times, 1 out of 4 times. I mean, hell, if we get 50-50 in those situations, then you might be able to see some extra elements to this offense to where maybe we discover something about Jordan Travis and we say, oh, I guess it was the receivers that weren't helping out at all.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We'll see. I mean, it's so far away right now. It's just hard to even, I'm transitioning my mind right now. We still have all of these NFL regular season, the last weekend of regular season football, plus the playoffs and everything that we're talking about now with that. And then, of course, I'm immersed now, focusing on transition to college basketball, Florida State basketball. And I got to be honest with you, I joked about it earlier, but Florida State's win over NC State's a big deal because you may see it as a stay of execution. You may say, okay, I'm not sure this team's good. I'm not sure because they're awfully young and they lost a ton. But when you haven't played basketball in a long time and you're knocking off the rust and you're hoping to get a win in conference and you haven't played well up until this point, and, if you think about the postponement or downright cancellation of 3 separate games, UCF and Sunrise, UNF and Boston College, you're thinking, well, I don't know what to expect. They didn't look good before all of this. Now they've taken a huge break. Now they're at NC State, which will be desperate for a win. They're both searching for something. Neither seem to have a real identity. They came into the game, NC State did it 7-6, 0-2 in the ACC, desperate to find something, right? Their losses were, by the way, at Louisville and at Miami. So at some point now, they had an overtime loss against Purdue. So, I mean, what they're capable of is something pretty good. So I had no idea what to expect. But neither team defended all that well. Let's just put it that way. At the end of the day, if you find the kind of balance that Florida State found here with 4 players in double figures, 9 of 10 players who saw action ended up in the scorebook, okay. I mean, we get another road ACC game tomorrow against Wake Forest. They're 11-3, 1-2 in the ACC. That's a 7:00 tip. Bally Sports Xfinity cable channel 401, if you're wondering. And from there, it's if you get that, then it's Louisville Saturday, which I'm pumped to go to the TLC Double C for. The vista will be beautiful.
Yeah, the thing I looked at and was you could see it in the flow of the game, but when you go back to the box score where we're searching for an identity, right? Okay, well, this is better. This is closer to the identity I think that the fans would like to see. Malik Osborne, 31 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Polite, 29 minutes. Caleb Mills, 30 minutes. Matthew Cleveland, 27 minutes. Cameron Fletcher, 22:45. And a couple of huge plays in that game.
Huge plays.
Raekwon Evans, 18 minutes. Jalen Worley, nearly 16 minutes. That ratio between Raekwon and Worley is going to be interesting to watch as the season goes along. But we don't usually, in this program, have that many players touch above 27, 28 minutes. It looks like the bench is shortening. The rotation is being shrunk down to some core players. That's what we're stuck with this year. It's not a typical Florida State program or team. Usually we are 10, 12 deep, and it's laughable how much depth we can have. Oh, he's got 2 fouls. No problem. We got 2 other solutions with these other players. Not the case this year. I love to see players' participation in those upper 20s, lower 30s, because it tells me that Leonard sees the picture, which is, you know what? These are the guys we have. These are the guys we're going to win and lose with, and it's going to be 4 or 5 key players.
You know what it thrills me, Tom? I'll tell you what thrills me. Wyatt Wilkes playing all of 2 minutes in the first half and then barely 2 minutes in the second, because when he plays, he sucks. And he did yesterday in a mere 4 minutes of action.
I'm glad to see we haven't lost our dynamic, because I'm trying to spin this in a positive way, pointing to the players who played more, and you're like, I'm glad that guy didn't play anyway.
No, I'm adding to your point. They're limiting minutes for certain players. You could limit the hell out of those minutes and disperse those to other players who deserve to be on the court because they contribute in some fashion. Let's do that. I think the 4 minutes was a bit excessive, frankly. I would make that about a 1.5 minute spell here and there. You get 1 shot out of 3. If you make it, you stay in. If you don't, you sit your ass the rest of the day.
We are in mid-February form.
That is what we're doing here. Matthew Cleveland, you didn't mention, I don't think.
I did.
Okay, well, then I was deaf, because my man snapped out of that scoring slump. He had 13 points, 5 of 10, 3 of 5 from the free throw line, 10 boards. And really, if you think about those 2 offensive rebounds late, my man, there you go. And you already mentioned Cameron Fletcher. Good to see him. You know, I think a big part of him looking more like himself was he didn't have to wear the face mask. 14 points. There you go, young man.
Well,
there you go.
And the play on the inbound late where he draws the foul. We run off 3 or 4 seconds. But that you vacate the inbound, and that was designed. Everything about that was coaching, but you can't coach how long he is in order to disrupt that pass. And then I thought we did get a little bit of a break on the TV Teddy call on the missed free throw by Fletcher. I know it was a clear out, but it was away from the ball. I thought for sure it was going to be an over the back call on us. And then that's not a terrible foul because you're up 3 and they have to shoot at that point. So it's not the end of the world. But I thought we got a break there to kind of help us ice the game a little bit. But the key numbers that I saw from this game, in the paint, plus 14 in scoring. I don't know that we're going to do that often.
Well, no, they played small, but
this is a team that you could do that against, so you need to. And then also in second chance points, 13-8. So that tells me that this is a great matchup for us, NC State. There are going to be some teams that are not.
Well, there's 2 reasons it's a great matchup. First of all, they chose to play small, so okay,
correct.
Great.
Yes.
And then B, their coach, Kevin Keats, didn't go into his zone at any point in the game, which, my man, have you watched game film of Florida State? What are we doing? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, here comes the zone anytime now, especially if we would score on like consecutive possessions, or we had a stretch where we scored when we were down 4. I think we scored 6 or 8 straight. And I remember thinking, well, here it comes. I mean, if not now, when? Surely they're going to go to it now. And they didn't. And Raekwon Evans had a drive to the basket in that moment, which if I'm going to rip that kid, I got to give him praise when he does something right. Beat his guy off the bounce and went straight to the 10. And that was huge because they ended up backing off. He made that layup. And I thought that created opportunities later in the game where when guys spread and he were able to penetrate and count and then get little open looks there or create off the dribble. So, look, I don't know. I don't know that this portends of Florida State being a top 5 ACC teams this year, which is where they have lived. They have lived in the top 4. They have been a contender to win the conference year in and year out the last 4 years. So what's hard for us is to take that step back. At some point when you lose NBA guys, 2 of them in the first round of the NBA draft, it's going to have an effect on your team. It's going to, by the way, I would note this. So Scotty Barnes is having a great run right now, probably second or third in Rookie of the Year votes. Remember that Franz kid from Michigan that we were like, that dude is evil.
Yeah.
Have you seen what he's done for the Orlando Magic? Go look at his numbers. He can win Rookie of the Year.
So you've watched Orlando Magic games.
Because to
Impressive.
him, he'll drop 30 and 12 like it's nothing. That dude is unreal. And when we played them, I remember watching the game going, this kid is ridiculous. Long, athletic, can shoot, understands spacing, understands the game. He went 8th overall, and so nobody hyped him to be a top 3, top 4 type rookie. You can argue he's the best rookie in the league. He's unreal, which makes me feel better because he killed us.
There was no chance in that game. It was a miracle it was as close as it was at the break. We're down like 10 or 11, I feel like, at the break, but we should have been down 30.
I'm like, I have not watched enough of this kid. He's really good. Anyhow, that's enough of that. It just makes me feel better. We didn't get torched by a bum. He's good. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
As we begin a new year, Tallahassee police are investigating a deadly New Year's Day shooting. Police say it happened just after 7 p.m. Saturday on Okaloosa Street, leaving one man dead. Detectives ask anyone who may have any information, call TPD at 850-891-4200. If you choose to remain anonymous, you can call Crime Stoppers at 850-574-TIPS. A man died following a collision between an SUV and pickup truck Saturday evening in Hamilton County. A 34-year-old White Springs man was driving an SUV west on Mill Street, approaching the intersection with County Road 135 just after 5 p.m. The SUV failed to stop at the stop sign, colliding with a pickup truck entering the intersection at the same time. The SUV rolled over and the driver, who was not wearing a seatbelt, was ejected. He was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 7-year-old boys were also in the SUV but did not get hurt. The 74-year-old driver of the pickup truck was also uninjured. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A blend of clouds and sun this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 52. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows around 36 tonight, mainly clear skies. High of 62 tomorrow. Mid-60s Wednesday, turning warmer Thursday with highs in the upper 60s and showers possible. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 41.
See Nice Tire and Auto Service at 4792 Bluntstown Highway today. The ASC trained technicians at Nice take the guesswork out of fixing your car. That's why wherever you see the Goodyear sign, you'll find what you want in tires and service. From preventative maintenance to a major overhaul and everything in between, you name it. Plus, Nice's services are backed by a nationwide limited warranty. Stop by Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
It's Congressman Michael Waltz on the Greg Tish Show.
Good morning, Congressman. How are you doing?
Hey, doing well.
Again, just what you have to go through day in and day out. I don't know how you have hair left, or like Matty Rowe, just completely bald.
Hey!
Sorry.
And the irony of it all, the progressives are the tail wagging the dog. This whole bipartisan White House is a joke. We're just watching them eat their own.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
and on Warchant TV as well. By the way, speaking of being back here in the new year, we've got a new partnership with our friends at Preservation Financial Group. Want to welcome them into the Jeff Cameron Show. You can see, if you're watching the feed, you'll see their logo up there, Preservation Financial Group. It's good to have them on board. And you'll hear me talking about some of the services they offer. And I think you'll find them basically people that can help you out financially. Hence the financial group, part of the name. But I'll give you very specific points. And it's some of this stuff I'm learning as we go. So I'm excited about it. And I'll tell you about it every day on the show. So you'll be
well. Now that you're 50, you better start looking into those types of things. If not now, when?
Yeah. It's true. It's true. I'll tell you about some of the aspects of what they do and what makes them elite a little bit later in the show. But I wanted to welcome them into the program and welcome them as a sponsor and as a partner of the Jeff Cameron Show and all of us here at 93.3. So that's important. That's a good thing. So I guess at some point, and we knew that somebody was going to want us to talk about this, so we should bring it up. What were you doing in the moment that you saw Antonio Brown take off his shoulder pads and skirt through the back of the end zone and out the tunnel? Were you just watching, chilling on the couch at home going, what's going on with this?
Yeah, because they didn't fully explain it. Like, they cut to it first, and there's about a second or two where you're saying, who is that?
Yeah, for a half a second, I thought, just like security, thought it was a fan at first.
Well, I knew it was a player. I saw the pants immediately. I'm like, all right, well, who is that?
Those look like team-issued pants.
And that's correct. I think they were. And we had two corners that had travel issues.
Which is the damnedest thing. Is there nothing more of today than that whole story? I'll summarize it in 2 seconds. Okay, very short version anyhow. Two starting members of the Tampa Bay secondary just cleared off the COVID list, so they had to take a flight out of Tampa later than the team. The team had gone the day before. So they were leaving early in the morning. They're going to be there with 2 hours to spare. The pilot that's taking them on the plane comes down with COVID, tests positive as he gets onto the plane. So now they got to get a new pilot and a new plane. All of this takes them to where they land in New York 15 minutes before kickoff. The plane had to go to Canada before it could come back because of flight rules, before it could go to New York City. So they go to Canada and back. My man both those guys end up racing to the stadium. Game kicks off. They're in the locker room changing. We're 7 minutes into the game, 8 minutes into the game action. It's like 1:15, 1:20. They come out on the field. They're stretching and jogging, trying to get warmed up to get back out. There's two starters. So it was the damnedest thing. It was bizarre.
So I thought maybe it had something to do with that. And then, of course, it was Antonio Brown. Of course, they said it was. And, all of those logical conclusions are now gone. Like, well, this is somebody who is injured. Wait a minute. There's no training staff with him. This has to be the guys who were late. No, it's not. Oh, he's doing jumping jacks and waving to the people.
Yeah.
Well, that must be Antonio Brown. So that's how it all happened.
Sure.
And it was in the midst of an offensive drive. That's the crazy thing, too. There's a camera shot from the end zone.
Yeah, you can see it from the end zone.
And you can see we're in the huddle all the way in the distance.
Yeah, well, we've talked about this a lot over the brief stint that the Bucs have brought in Antonio Brown. I'm not one who blindly makes light of people's shortcomings, if you will. I mean, I will joke and take surface level shots at any number of things, including myself. But he's clearly mentally ill. Now, that doesn't mean you forgive what happens. You have to let him go, which they did immediately. You have to let him go, regardless of the reason. You can't have it. I mean, it's insubordination. It's turning your back on your teammates. It's turning your back on the franchise, turning your back on the team, coaches, you name it, the league. So he's gone. There's no surprise there. That's the first thing you're going to do. You kind of, all right, well, that's that. That's the end of that. He made it very easy. I mean, I don't think it was an overstatement from Daryl Johnston, who, a lot of times you get guys who get a little preachy in the booth.
Tom Brenneman used to be a pro at that.
Oh, yeah. But this wasn't that.
Until there was a deep drive to left field.
Yeah. That's going to be a home run. No, so my favorite part, though, is that I'm listening to him and I'm thinking, because I hadn't seen the video footage, and then I see it and I'm like, oh, well, no, he's not wrong. I've never seen that before. When he said, I've been a part of the NFL for 35 years, I've never seen it before. Neither have I. I've seen players fight one another. I've seen players take swings at coaches. I've seen coaches swing on other coaches. We've all seen that, right?
Ooh,
we've seen
maybe around these parts.
We've seen it all where, in the heat of battle, some things go down, words are exchanged. It can happen. And that's part of it. I've never seen a dude take off his shoulder pads in his undershirt while a game is going on, roll out the end zone, not even walk around the end zone, like straight through the end zone. Never seen it. So I knew he was gone immediately, and regardless of the reasons, and he's had a million transgressions in his career, and some of them reveal him to be a horrible human being, and we talked about this at the time. So I'm not going to speculate. I don't know the reasons. I just know he can't be there, and I know that he's had probably 3 to 4 too many second, third, fourth, and fifth chances. But that's what happens when you're uniquely gifted. And that's true in almost every field. If you bring something to the table that nobody else can, you get those opportunities. There's a direct correlation to skills and opportunities and repeated chances, right? And there's no doubt he's a freak when it comes to talent. But that's that. I think a lot of people thought that I would have, or you would have, or we would have, and I told you so moment. No, this was inevitable, but it wouldn't take a Mensa to figure out that at some point Antonio Brown, whose entire career has been a guy that cuts off his nose to spite his face, you'd have to know it was coming.
Yeah, but do you say I told you so when you put it on the chalkboard that 2 + 2 = 4?
Right.
I told you so.
Yeah, right.
It equals 4.
Yeah,
Take your time. You go through what you need to do. I'm just
glad it was a transgression against the team and his teammates and coaches, because I was always worried it was going to be something criminal like it had been in the past. So it's not anything criminal that he did. It's just him being who he is and having a meltdown.
Listen, he helped the Bucs win the Super Bowl. From a general manager's cold-blooded standpoint, it was a successful move for Tampa to bring in Antonio Brown. I said it last year. It took a big chunk of joy out of being a Bucs fan. Even with, I was
going to say, Tariq Hill was on the other side.
That made it easier.
Didn't take away that much joy.
And he wasn't on the field for the Green Bay game, which was great. So now you get to feel that again. Now, does this make us a worse football team? Sure it does.
Sure it does.
But I also don't have the empathy that Tom Brady's calling for, because when bad things happen to bad people, I don't care. That's good. Now, I understand. I respect mental illness and the seriousness of that issue. This guy was a bad dude before whatever's going on now.
Long before that
is going on.
Well, his own teammates still get. Ryan Clark's been yelling that from the mountaintops. He's been for a long time. No. I'm not saying I sit around going, oh God, I sure hope he gets help. I'd happily see him get help. Everybody would wish that for anybody, but
maybe.
But I don't sit around thinking it's just a tragedy. No, not a tragedy. My man made some choices, born out of whatever.
Hundreds.
So
yeah,
but does make me root for Surreal Grayson even more.
Oh my
Good
God.
for you, young man. Good for you.
I almost was a Jets fan. If we didn't move down from,
if
we didn't move down, I would have been a Met Jet. And then when I went to school in Iona for the semester, I thought I was going to live in New York the rest of my life. And I thought, is this the year that are we going to switch? And then that's it, because now you're going to live here and this is where you're from. And I didn't. And I came back to Florida, went here to Florida State January. That was 16 years ago now that I've started my time here in Tallahassee. I'm glad I didn't switch, because when they cut to those Jet fans and those expressions on their faces after the throw to Grayson and the touchdown. They saw a ghost. They're like, again.
Well, okay, so the one guy,
I thought he was old 10 years ago. He's doing it again.
The guy that they show in the stands prominently, the older gentleman who's clearly been going to Jets games for a long time.
Why didn't they show Fireman Ed? They want to show him 50 times during the game.
So they show your boy just kind of staring up at at the heavens, like, really? Because they botched the 4th and 2 play. So if they don't botch that play, none of this happens. But because that's what bad franchises, bad teams.
But come on, get up, J.
Yeah.
E. T.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, I was laughing my ass off, just because it is such a thing to happen to a forlorn group of fans, right? And that they botch the 4th and 2 play. It's the right play to go for it, but they miscommunicate the play that they're trying to get in. You're never going to run a quarterback sneak on 4th and 2.
That worries me about my quarterback. That if he, following orders is a good thing in the NFL.
He played well, by the way,
and he did. But if he doesn't have the wherewithal to say, wait a minute, a sneak? This is 4th and 2. What are we calling a sneak for?
Well,
that's a problem.
He's a rookie. The other thing that I would tell you is he played really well. And he made some tight window throws. And if anything, when we get towards the end of the year one, even in year one, you begin to look for signs that this is going to work, or I don't know if this is going to work out. The Jets have signs that this is going to work with him. The Jaguars, meanwhile, I get it. Unmitigated disaster. Urban sabotaged. Got it. Another 3 picks yesterday from Boy Wonder over there.
This guy, been saying it for years.
Goldilocks looks like he's in trouble.
He will lock in. He's going to throw. I said it from day one. Our first game against him. This is a guy who's going to throw a lot of interceptions when finally he faces defenses that can do something about it. Now, so did Peyton Manning. So and Jameis has thrown a bunch, and we still consider Jameis to be an average to above average quarterback in the NFL. That sounds homerish, but it's true. I consider him to be that way.
Certainly an average.
Peyton threw like 28. He threw 60 in his first
year,
2 or 3 years or first 35 games, whatever it was. So you can turn it around, but there was no doubt in my mind that dude was going to throw a ton of picks early in his career.
Well, and then now he doesn't have any help, and he's forcing it, and there's no leadership. They got to start from scratch. But what I would think, what would upset me if I'm a Jaguars fan, is that we've wasted this year, and now he's a guy that is going to lack confidence. How could you not after the season he's had? He's been terrible. So that's got to be tough. Meanwhile, like if you're in Chicago, you're not sure. They're going to get rid of that coaching staff. That was another win. Good for them. But you're kind of like, I don't know. I don't know what we have with
New England, you feel okay because
you feel
at least got a manager, and he might be better than a manager.
Yeah, no, I think you feel very good about him. But that's what you do with new quarterbacks. Like you're going through the list. Like, do we feel like we're moving in the right direction here? It's going to be a little while, but he's trending in the right way. Or, oh man, did we whiff again?
How does San Francisco feel?
Oh, they don't like Trey Lance. Yeah. I mean, that's this yet, but that was always a huge project. Remember, they said that. They even knew that. They thought the upside was so significant that they were willing to wait that out. So they're just going to have to buy their time.
But here's what's interesting. Fast forward, because we've now seen multiple franchises after 1 year with a rookie quarterback say,
we don't know. Yeah.
Right. And the first one was Josh Rosen. It was like, remember him, everybody? Yeah, Josh Rosen, who's been on 4 or 5 different teams, including Tampa. He was on the Bucs for like a half an hour. But that San Francisco landing spot, Shanahan has a great relationship with Cousins, and there's talk in Minnesota that maybe they can make a deal, swing a deal for him, because Shanahan believes he has a window that's now. Then you've got Aaron Rodgers' love for that place. Yeah, right?
That's what you do.
Well, of course, if you could get him over Kirk Cousins, you do it.
You don't.
But Aaron apparently has this new love affair with the Packers. What was that post game on Christmas? Did you see that? I was like, either you went to PR school or something happened to you overnight, like Ebenezer Scrooge himself.
Well, he knows he did irreparable damage to his image when he tried to play that hand that was not adopted by the public. They were like, "No, man, you're wrong on this one. You do have weapons." I was screaming it on the show here. I'm like, "What are you talking about? You just won the MVP and hosted the NFC Championship game. You cannot tell people that you've been done wrong. Go to hell with that nonsense. You've got weapons galore, and you win, and you just won the MVP." Get the hell out of here with that. Every time he said something, I was like, just stop. Do you have too much lazy money in the bank? What does this mean, you ask? This means you have too much money in the bank that is losing to inflation. It's good to have money in the bank in case of an emergency because it is safe and liquid. But if you have too much money in the bank, for example, you have $100,000 in bank earning 1%, let's say the current rate of inflation is 5%, that means you're losing 4% per year to inflation. Better example would be in dollars. You have $100,000 in the bank. It's earning 1%. The inflation rate is 5%. You're guaranteed to lose $4,000 per year in purchasing power every year, or $40,000 over a 10-year period. If you feel that you have too much lazy money in the bank, it's not working for you, call my friend Pete Tyson at 850-523-6118. That's 850-523-6118. Ask Pete to provide you with Safe Money Kit that will give you other options that may help you earn more interest. There's no cost or obligation. Call Pete Tyson, 850-523-6118. Again, that's 523-6118.
Cameron here, and mark it down. Wednesdays on my show, we're giving away which wicked sandwiches. That's right. Tune in to the Jeff Cameron Show every Wednesday for your chance at a free wicked 5 meats and 3 cheeses of deliciousness every week on the JCS.
Tallahassee's 30-year-old funny paper and American Legion Post 13 have joined forces to become Major Morale. The new magazine has 4 more pages of post activities and military information that you probably never knew. But don't worry, it's still as politically correct and newsworthy as always. Okay, it's the same funny stuff, but it's still only available at the sponsors' locations like Tallahassee Automobile Museum, Krispy Kreme Donuts, Keith Lawson Services, or ABC Flooring. Tallahassee's leading supplier of in-stock, top-of-the-line ceramic, carpet, waterproof, and hardwood floors since 1990. At ABC Flooring, you can pick out your floor and installation can begin in 48 hours. ABC Flooring is also the leading supplier of in-stock landlord property management products in the Panhandle. Visit their warehouse showroom on Capitol Circle Southeast or call 877-6600.
This is Dr. James Ryan Finn from Finn Chiropractic. The number one myth about chiropractic is you don't have to take care of your spine until it hurts. Most patients come in with symptoms, neck pain, back pain, headaches. Those are not the cause of your problem. That's the result of your problem. So unmask the cause of your problem at Finn Chiropractic through the Phenomenal Health Examination. So if you're a loved one or having neck pain, back pain, or headaches, don't mask the symptom, unmask the cause at Finn Chiropractic because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
Did you know metal roofs' survivability far exceeds that of traditional shingle roofs? It's time to consider a metal roof from Metal Roofing Sales of Tallahassee. We provide the best quality, least expensive material and accessories in the area, as well as material pickup and delivery. Our painted panels qualify for the City of Tallahassee's low-interest Energy Star loan program also. And don't forget about our veteran and law enforcement discount. Give Metal Roofing Sales a call today at 536-9123, 536-9123.
Siri, tell me a joke. The past, present, and future walk into a bar. It was tense.
All jokes aside, the trained professionals at Mac & More Systems are serious about Apple products. For all your Mac repairs, call Mac & More Systems at 894-3622, 894-3622.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Show brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Yeah, crew, I wish Tua would take off his gear and quit as well. Well, he cost me my pizza money. It was a good run, though, man. That was worth it. The bet alone allowed me to have an opportunity to invest in the Dolphins each week. And up until yesterday, they gave me a reason to think that it was a distinct possibility that they were going to make the playoff with the absurd odds. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think if you're the Dolphins, you do everything in your power to move on from Tua. I don't see it at all.
Revisit the Deshaun Watson deal. And what's his status?
I'm finding out whether or not he's going to prison. If the answer is no, I'm bringing him in. It's as simple as that. Are you going to prison? You're going to be charged with a crime because I don't want to be waiting through a trial. Are you going to be charged with a crime? If the answer is
charged with a crime.
I want to know. If I'm the Dolphins, I want to know, is he being charged with a crime or is he just guilty of being a jerk? Because, hey, man, I can live with that. There's lots of jerks in every field, whatever. But take your little PR hit and ride. Let's go. Get up there with a teary-eyed confessional, say you were entitled, give those girls $1 million, and let's go.
One thing I'll tell you is I think Troy Aikman is more in love now with being a homer on Cowboys broadcasts
than
Deshaun Watson likes to go to a parlor. You know what I mean?
I don't know if it's possible. Nobody likes doing anything more than Deshaun Watson likes going to a parlor. We found that out. Hour number 2 forthcoming.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. The U.S. is expanding COVID-19 boosters as it confronts the Omicron surge.
The Food and Drug Administration is allowing extra Pfizer shots for children as young as 12. Boosters already are recommended for everyone 16 and older, and the FDA says they're also warranted for 12 to 15-year-olds. The FDA also said everyone eligible for a booster can get one as early as 5 months after their last dose, rather than 6 months.
Correspondent Jeremy House. The move coming as classes are restarting after the holidays is not the final step. The CDC must decide whether to recommend boosters for the younger teens. Also at townhall.com, President Biden followed up his Russian phone call with a call to Ukraine's president. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
The president spoke with Ukrainian President Zelensky on Sunday, days after a 50-minute conversation with Russia's Vladimir Putin about Moscow's troop buildup near Ukraine's border. According to the White House, Mr. Biden promised Zelensky that the United States and its allies will act decisively if Russia further invades Ukraine. The two leaders conferred ahead of a series of diplomatic meetings to try to de-escalate a crisis that Putin says could rupture ties with the U.S. Greg Clugston, Washington.
President Biden meeting virtually today with independent farmers and ranchers. The president discussing initiatives with them to reduce food prices by increasing competition within the meat industry. The White House event, part of a broader effort to show the administration is trying to combat inflation. Consumer prices in November rose 6.8% over the prior 12 months. That's a 39-year high. Stocks off to a solid start on Wall Street. The Dow was up 155 points. The NASDAQ 149 higher. More at townhall.com.
So I invested in one of those fancy new exercise bikes. Without a doubt, a very special tool to help me get healthier. The problem is 3 days go by, then 4, and I've done nothing. And then it's night 5, and I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and I look down at myself, and I can't help but just laugh. Because there I am, wearing the exercise t-shirt that came with the bike, and I'm eating 2 corn dogs. And I think we'd all agree, the special tool only matters if we use it to our benefit. At United Faith Mortgage, we believe we have an advantageous tool for you. Our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions. There's no middleman. And often, this allows us to get you a better rate on your refinance or new home purchase, which can save you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Middle Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Hi, I'm Jeff, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches, and I'm here to tell you about our signature witch, the Wicked. Why call it the Wicked? Some say it's wicked tasty, some say it's wicked large. One thing's for sure, with oven-roasted turkey, ham, pepperoni, roast beef, and bacon, as well as your choice of 3 cheeses, it definitely takes you from wicked hungry to wicked happy in just a few wicked good bites, only at Which Superior Sandwiches.
On Wednesday, the Wicked is just $5. 5 meats, 3 cheeses, $5.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
As expected, I thought the Rose Bowl game was great. Turned out to be a lot of fun to watch. Kind of felt bad for Utah there. They had that thing, and then obviously you watch yet another superstar emerge. Not shocked, given his last name and prodigy, that he emerged the way that he did. But Ohio State's receiving room, that segment group, I called it the best in the country at the start of the season, and it is.
It's the present day LSU in college football.
It's
Because
crazy.
LSU had a run there. Jamar Chase just decided to win a football game over the Chiefs yesterday, and that was Jamar Chase. Burrow did okay, but Jamar won about 3 or 4 footballs that you just go, oh my word, what are you doing?
I love Joe Burrow. I loved him when he came out. Loved him at LSU. Loved him when he was drafted. I thought, man, that's the right guy. I said as much on the air. There's the right amount of talent and brash confidence coupled with due diligence, right? Like the work ethic that you need. It's all there. It's all there. That dude's gonna. Well, he already did it. They just won the division. And remember, he got ripped at the start of the season when they asked about trying to get that franchise back to playoff form. And he said, "Well, the easiest way to get to the playoffs is to win the division." And everybody was like, "Well, calm down, young man." He's like, no.
Also, that front office told everybody where to go because it was offensive line. You've got to get an offensive lineman. Why would you? I know that they played together in college. Why would you draft Jamar Chase?
And he's like, this is why.
This is why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, that was actually the most surprising part about that game yesterday is that they were able to block it up. But back to this for a second. We'll get back to the college football playoff. Yes, the wide receiver room at Ohio State is absurd, and it won them that game, and it's something to behold. As far as the playoff games go, we touched briefly on Georgia hammering Michigan. That game really not competitive. I thought Alabama-Cincinnati was competitive. Now, that game really came down to early, and you see it right from the beginning. If Alabama can run the ball, you're probably pretty well screwed here. And can you block Alabama's defensive line? So the old adage and the age-old, since the time football started, about the line of scrimmage being the whole thing, just that game in a nutshell tells you the difference between an elite group of 5 team, and they are, and the best program in college football over the last 10 years, right? So Alabama walks out there and you see it instantly. You're like, I've talked about the Bama table on the Jeff Cameron show for eons, and that's when they're facing other SEC schools. That's when they're facing us in Atlanta. Like every time I watch them line up, just step onto the field, just wearing their uniforms before they ever block anybody, before they ever rush the passer, before they ever complete a pass or execute a tackle or anything else, every time I see Alabama, I go, there it is. Now, we also always talk about when you have back-to-back, keep going, recruiting classes that look like theirs, then the clay you're working with to mold your team is of an elite substance, elite value. Like you're starting from scratch like everybody else, but what you're starting with is better than everybody else's. And when you get into games like this, even with really good corners, even with an above-average quarterback, even with a good running back, all these skill position things that we talk about like they did before the Cincinnati-Alabama game. Because, look, when Alabama loses their top receiver in the game against Georgia, so he's out, you go, okay, well, it will be easier for Cincinnati, who have 2 very good corners, 2+ corners, 2 NFL corners. This will be an opportunity for them. Now, can they stop the run? Because they should be able to cover if they can stop the run. Well, Robinson goes nuts, and within 5 minutes, you went, damn. They're going to be able to get all the stops in the world early. They're going to fight like hell and try to win in the red zone. But if they can't block them and they can't run the ball, and Ritter has to throw time and again, and they know it's coming, this game is over. So in essence, it was a game that stayed close, but really wasn't close. You just knew that there was no offense going to be mounted. There are 3 third down plays that if they convert and they're not batted balls at the line of scrimmage, then maybe you turn this into a second half game. But it kind of played out in a way that we always fear when you get a team from outside of Power 5, but in particular, really any team that faces Alabama.
Well, Alabama's an interesting bird, and this is where I don't know how much time you want to talk about the rematch, because some people are very interested in this game and some people are not. I don't know where you stand in that, this championship game.
I think Georgia's going to win.
just because of the pizza money, or
No, I
okay.
think Georgia's going to win.
So Alabama is all at once a team that can play it terribly down to their competition.
You see Auburn, see LSU, see Florida.
Very good. Yep. And I think to a degree, maybe this game a little bit defensively speaking. But they're also a team that can make Georgia look like nobody else can make Georgia look. So that's the intrigue of this game.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, the moment that this game was over was because of Cincinnati's arrogance, not anybody else's. Cincinnati has the long drive to start the second half, and they settle for 3. They don't know what they're up against. They don't realize the moment. That 6 points in that moment's not going to cut it. You don't have that many chances that close to the end zone. You need to be at 10 or 3 at the end of this drive, and that's the win or loss. There's no way you're going to hold Alabama down to 3 or 7 points for the entirety of a half.
I agree.
That to me was the moment that the game changed. You don't understand. You're not reading the room properly.
I think it changed in the first quarter when we began to see the rushing lanes for Alabama and for Robinson. I was like, okay, well, they may not sustain a bunch of drives here now, but they will in the third quarter. They will in the fourth quarter.
The crazy thing about the Michigan-Georgia game was both teams played a 6-man front. Georgia, didn't matter. Their 6-man front was going to dominate. They were going to be able to stop Michigan. They could spread out all these safeties and defensive backs anywhere else they wanted to. Michigan ran the 6-man front, and Georgia could have ran it right down their throat between the tackles all night. They didn't. That was the one thing that would concern me about you saying that Georgia definitively is going to win. You have it right in front of you because I had the All-22 on that particular channel, not the Spider Camp, but the All-22. I'm going, oh my God. It's just run it right up the middle. Every damn play, you're going to gain 8 yards. This is going to be embarrassing. And they tried little trick plays and play actions and reverses and all kinds of weird stuff.
I think I know why. You're right. They knew they could return to the run anytime they wanted. So that's there. They see the same thing you're seeing. They can hear it. They're talking about it upstairs. Like, we got this. If we need to run it, we'll run the ball. Who needed to repair his psyche? Stetson Bennett. He had to find a way to make plays against the defense that has definitively been very, very good against everybody all year long, save for the fourth quarter against Michigan State.
That's fair. So you think they're openly working on things in a playoff semifinal?
That's how dismissive after the first quarter they could be against Michigan. That's when they knew this is open for business anytime we want.
Yeah, that's a bad quarter.
Oh, it's a tough. It's a toughie. So I thought, honestly, that when they knew we can go back to this anytime we want, we got to get this guy right. We got to get him here. We got to get him right. And they did, and he made throws, and he made plays. There's no way that kid – we talk about it all the time, Tom. So your boy's out here throwing 88 top in and not locating. I went 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts the last game. He serves that nonsense up on a platter, and I hit a 2-run bomb. It doesn't matter why. I feel good the next time I stand in the box. Stetson Bennett's going to feel good when they go onto that field. I really think so. Now, could be beaten out of him pretty quickly. Could be the old Mike Tyson. Everybody's got to plan until they get punched in the mouth. Could be. But I have to get him in the right headspace before we ever take the field. He's got to believe that he can operate from the pocket, make plays with his receivers against a good defense. And he knows Michigan's defense is good, and he knows he did something. You could see it. He was brimming with confidence by the end of that game. Once that first quarter played out the way it did, I think that was the modus operandi. And they could have gone back to the run, and they did. They did. I mean, once they got the lead, they could kind of do that anyhow. I mean, Cook could have run for freaking 300 yards.
That's correct. You know what's interesting in watching those games, especially because the second one was the worst football game in terms of being contested. I got melancholy again about college football. And I understand that it had a great Saturday. The sport had a great Saturday, a lot of entertaining games. Those games are meaningless. And we all feel it. We all feel it. It's like, why are there games the day after the playoff? This doesn't feel, it should be the other way around. But that's because the Rose Bowl is stubborn about when they.
But and I wish they would reconfigure that as well. I enjoyed the games. I watched. There were a few really compelling games.
But here's where I get a little bit sad in the long term because I really hope, somewhat believe out of necessity that there's going to be reform to the transfer system and to the recruiting system this summer, like now. There has to be.
So you're worried about the bigger picture of college football, and there's no doubt that is the collective mindset of college football bowl watchers this year. I can't tell you how many people I ran into that are about to say exactly what did say what you're about to say, because I felt it too. The weight of this seismic shift and the uncertainty. Now, we don't like change. People don't in general, in really any walk of life. So some of it is just this overwhelming foreboding that we create in our minds. But some of it is tangible. It is a real thing. This idea that you don't have a kid who you have. This idea that things don't work out for 5, 6, 7, 8 guys, they're going to walk away. The opt-outs don't help that. So, like, the players woke up a while ago with so much money on the line. It really kind of all started with McCaffrey at Stanford when he decided, I'm not going to play in the Rose Bowl, the precious Rose Bowl. I'm not going to play in it. When they, so the idea of that, people thought, no chance that it's ever going to happen. Well, when people started doing that, we thought, oh, it's just a few guys here or there. But remember, those of us who could read the tea leaves were like, no, man, this is just the beginning. Because once it becomes accepted by other players and coaches as a thing, then it's going to be chose.
Well, you'll have opt-outs for transfers too. That's the thing. It's not just about the NFL. It's about, I want to go somewhere else. And so I'm going to opt out, and it's going to seem strange. But then the next thing you know, there's going to be a graphic with me saying committed to this other school. Now, I'm not about to agree with Herb Street and that dumb take that he had on the dais. Was that New Year's Eve or New Year's Day? I think it was New Year's Day before the Rose Bowl. He and Desmond go on this rant about how, players don't love the game like they used to. Like, as he gets older, his takes get dumber and dumber, and it's like warp speed. I thought John Smoltz was fast from the guy to what the hell. But what I'm worried about, like the argument of it's the same 5 teams, that's old. That's an old argument. The new one is, all right, do you think Stetson Bennett is the quarterback at Georgia next year? Do you think he's good enough to win a title for him next year, and he should be the guy that they circle the wagons around? Because if you don't, and if Kirby doesn't, maybe they have a silent agreement somewhere else with another kid who's not in the transfer portal yet.
Right.
And they've already had communications to say, you're the best kid on the free agent market. We're going to bring you in next year and fill the hole with an active college football player.
Oh, I think that's going on. I believe that's already happening.
Because we see it as an advantage to speed up the process here at Florida State from 5 wins to maybe 8. And that's maybe pie in the sky for the schedule.
Right now, it benefits Florida State and behooves us to properly utilize a system that we don't like. So fans are grateful that we're able to go out and bring in these receivers.
Right.
That we're able to bring in any of these guys. What you know about Bless Harris. We all of these guys we get excited about because we have major holes to fill, and this is the only avenue by which we can accelerate the process.
Well,
but we don't like what it represents.
Well, and we discussed how would you rather have a 3-star maybe or a kid who's already played a year in college, and now you have 2 or 3 years out of a kid who's already been at the level. Like, what is the surer thing to take and what can help you more? It's the kid who's currently in college, but we think it benefits us, and it does right now.
Right now it does.
But it benefits the big dogs more than anybody else because they tell you, hi, Kirby Smart, Georgia, we need a quarterback. We think your ass belongs in Athens.
Right.
Wouldn't you agree? Like, that's what I get worried about is I see major holes for these programs. I'm thinking they don't even have to go recruit high school kids.
Oh,
they can go get the best kid on the transfer portal.
Of course, but the counter to that, too, is that a lot of the lesser schools can get a disgruntled kid who's a backup at those major schools when they stockpile talent. There's, at some point, diminishing returns. You can only have so many starters. So guys who want to be a starter, were promised to be a starter, are going to go find their way to other institutions. Also, by the way, other people can play the transfer portal game and or incentivize, going to K-State.
Sure.
Things like that never existed before because now of the new rules and the availability of NIL.
I get that. I think I fell for it. Initially, I thought that this one-time free transfer thing, right? The NCAA says, all right, you get a freebie. You don't have to sit for a year. So now you can just pretty much overnight switch uniforms and go play for somebody else, even within your own conference and your division and your state, all that stuff. Initially, I thought, well, that helps us right now at a time more than it helps the big dogs. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because let's just say if you're Alabama and you lose your top few running backs, like they did. They got the Gibbs kid from Georgia Tech. You're going to get the best kid in the transfer portal. They might even call you before they officially put their name in it and see what you think about me.
But that's what I thought was going on anyhow. Now, all of this underhanded stuff, a lot of the underhanded stuff that we're seeing now come to light is stuff that was already happening, only it's on the table. Now it's just out there in the open for everybody to see. It was the Jimbo Official diatribe where he was talking about it. By the way, 2 more 5 stars for him. But so, yes, ultimately, look, man, if they really want to extrapolate this out, you want to talk about programs that have a chance to win. So if we're at a place where Travis Hunter could end up at Jackson State, right? And let's just start seeing other teams, just any team, any program, throw their name in the hat to shift the perception of who they are and what it represents to go play for them. Could be any school that's not considered part of the elite or doesn't have the cachet. All right, well, if we're really talking about with endless cachets, endless funds then we're talking about the oldest, richest, most prestigious universities in the country. Well, if they decide they want to play big boy football and that this is the way it's going to work, everybody's a free agent, everybody can be bought, and now it's all above board, Harvard should win a lot of national championships. Harvard can't run out of money. Billions and billions. They ought to win a national championship soon. Just go pay for everybody. Stanford ought to never lose again. Do you know how many trillionaires that have donated to Stanford? They've got more money than God. Better never lose another game. If all these other if it's going to be about that, Notre Dame should never lose either. Waive your academic rigors and go win championships. Go do it. Go ahead. Because now if it's all about money, plenty of people have more money than Alabama.
Yes, this is true. The one thing I agree, obviously Jimbo knows better than anybody that things happen behind the scenes, under the table, what have you. And he can joke about that now. But what it does is it legitimizes the practice of those things happening. So you don't have to find the one booster who's down.
Yeah.
Now any booster can do it. You can go to any booster and any corporation to make it happen.
Yeah. I also think that what you started with here is what I want to return to now, which is that the reforms are coming because there's been an overcorrection. We're all for players getting money. We've said that for a very long time. The free labor system is what led directly to chocolate fountains and water slides and $12 million a year head coaching salaries. All the while they said, there's not enough money to go around. And we laughed at that, right? Okay, fine, got it. But when you overcorrect and we don't have a czar of college football and there are no rules, well, this is what happens, man. There are no rules here. You can do anything you want. And the NCAA is toothless. They can't do anything.
Well, and the problem is, as you're watching another blowout in the semifinals, what are you going to think about? What are you going to talk about? If you're not going to change the channel and you're going to watch the game because you love this sport, you're not thinking about the fact that, Michigan's got 6 men in the box of Georgia's. What are they doing? No, you're thinking about, oh, God.
Well,
how do we fix this?
Well, the offseason, what you would consider to be the second part of the end of the season, I should say, we spent way too much time talking about a coaching carousel and not about playoff teams, not about big games, not about the players in those games, not about the impact of the results of those games, not about the kids playing those games. It was about which coach was going to make this much money to go to this other place, which program, blue blood program, would they leave to go to this other blue blood program, and what were they being offered to do so? And college football gets hurt if we're not going to talk about the games and the players who play the games. So there are a lot of things they've got to factor in, and we know this gets pretty complicated. I do think there will be adjustments, but not until there's real leadership in college football. And if you don't have a czar that is an agreed upon authoritative figure, that is to say the Power Five have said, yes, we vote that guy, which means we're going to listen to him, as opposed to a guy that's appointed. Like, we've decided this guy meets all of our requirements and understands our interests, and we're going to listen to him. Because for years, just think about what the NCAA is. It's an agreed upon disciplinary committee, in essence, right? All the universities said, because they have no legal power, all the universities went, yeah, okay, well, we'll abide by that, until they didn't, until they went, no, we're not going to do that. And then the courts told them, yeah, really, you have no real authority. You can't do what you want to do. So these guys are free to tell you to pound sand. And they did.
So the question is, when do you find that person? Who is that person? And when does Lou Holtz begin his tenure as the czar of college football?
Oh, my God. Can you imagine that? Damn near death. They trot him out there. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Well, I know that. They bring the income.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
Do you know what the worst feeling in the world is? Being left on hold from a customer service line for hours upon hours and never receiving the answer to your question. I'm Travis Sparkman, owner of T-Spark Enterprises. When I started this company, I wanted to place communication and customer service at the utmost importance. When you start a project with us, we answer the phone, get there on time, get the job done right, and keep you informed throughout the entire process. You might even find yourself becoming friends with us along the way. If you're looking for the most attentive contractors in the business for your next construction project, let's talk.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark Construction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
I called Swain Pools and Spas. Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
I called Tallahassee Car Care and they're fixing my car when I want to.
Hey, what are you doing? This is a Swain Pools and Spas commercial.
I'm turning it into a Tallahassee Car Care commercial.
But Swain Pools and Spas is a full-service shop offering sales, renovation, supplies, and more for years.
And Tallahassee Car Care is a full-service shop offering brake and tire service, batteries, oil changes, and more for years.
But people go to Swain Pools for quality and reliability. Nobody knows more about pools and spas, and Swain has new Caldera spas in stock right now.
And people go to Tallahassee Car Care for their 5-star service at great prices, with most maintenance done by their certified technicians while you wait.
You know what? Just look for the big Swain sign on West Tharp Street, because Swain Pools and Tallahassee Car Care are under the same roof. Online at swainpools.com.
Online at TallahasseeCarCare.com.
Swain Pools and Spas. Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry books to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
When you are approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Pete Tyson and Preservation Financial Group are here to help you preserve your retirement. The team at Preservation Financial Group can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create a comprehensive income plan designed around your needs. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risk before you retire. To schedule a free, no-obligation consultation, reach out to Pete Tyson and Preservation Financial Group today. 850-523-6118. That's 850-523-6118. Or visit them online at preservationfinancialgroup.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Hope for Florida State football? Is it too early? January the 3rd to be asking yourself, what is a reasonable expectation for Florida State football?
It's tough because you want to see all these transfers in spring. You want to see what they actually look like, how they play, and that's going to help inform the choice, right?
Yeah, it's very difficult to kind of get a common sense, fair-minded expectation coming off the season. Look, if you want to start on the extremes, you'll start with they have to have a winning season. That's fair. I think that grace period that some are more willing to give than others. I think if you have a fair-minded approach and take a look at the total picture of Norvell's time here, then you would be more apt to have said, okay, You've had the grace period that I would agree was fair, but it stops now. Now we have to. Now others might say, "Oh, no. When we talk about a total rebuild, we talk about a 5-year rebuild." Well, okay, but at some point within the 5 years, you have to have a winning season. So I think you would start to. I think most would probably, if we're looking for a landing spot. I'm not talking about the ones that did it in year 1 or early in year 2. I'm saying, like, if we had to have a landing spot where you'd feel comfortable saying you've got enough time and resources to go out and win 6 games or 7 games next year would be the one. That'd be the one that most percentage-wise people would agree upon.
Yeah, I think so. The problem is our out-of-conference schedule, largely speaking,
features LSU.
It's tough in general the next few years. Now, we do open with Duquesne in the middle of August.
That's just a free win against a team that you should never play.
You might be able to ambush LSU because they're changing systems. I mean, they're not going to keep what they were doing before. They do have better personnel.
They've got better personnel across the board.
But you might also have with this influx of transfers, and that's where spring is going to be critical to view that.
To make the judgment.
That your starting group is not terribly, at a disadvantage compared to LSU. Maybe it is at a disadvantage, but it's not a whitewashing, right? That would be the thing that we're trying to learn in spring camp. I could tell you that of the kids that have switched sides and said that they're a Nole now over the break, the Johnny Wilson signing out of Arizona State.
6'6",
6'7" potentially as well. I think that's what Arizona State had him as. He loves to block. He can run around a 4.5. There's how the internet happens. There's chatter. He runs a 4.4. Whatever it is, if he's fast for that size and he loves to block, this offense is perfect for you.
Well, he does love to block, and there's video evidence of him doing so at a place that he's leaving. So that is tangible. That is bona fide. That's not a wish for. That is not, I think he can become this. It's no, he does that. We've seen it at the Power 5 level. We've watched him block guys 30 yards downfield. That's why you're excited about him. That's why I'm excited about him. I'm more excited about him than Micah Pittman. I'm certainly more excited about him than I am Deuce Spann. That's the guy. Johnny Wilson's the guy that I went, okay, you have my attention because he's a real receiver. He's 6'7" and he loves to block, and we know he can, he can catch the football. So that there you go.
Well, next up is who is going to be developing these receivers. Now that's a question for the immediate. We should be getting an answer on that in the next week, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State has availabilities tomorrow and Wednesday for Alex Atkins and Tony Tokars. I forget which person goes when. But if you're starting to roll out your new hires for media availabilities, and obviously these are promotions, not hires from the outside, one would think that you're going to be filling out your staff, announcing extensions or announcing and saying thank you for your time and we're bringing somebody else in. So who is going to be developing these receivers? Because you've got better clay to work with, to call back to your Alabama example.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Alabama level clay? No. But is it much better than what we've had? Yes. At 3 different players, because Deuce Spann gets really interesting as a 1 or 2 year project, but he's already got the burning speed that a safety will have to account for him. You can now start to see other things developing, other pages of this playbook coming to life.
Yeah,
next season.
that is the hope. The man has caught 5 passes in college football. I'm not going to get elated about that. I'm going to wait and see what he becomes. How polished is he? He went there as a quarterback, Illinois, that is. He's caught 5 passes in college football. I'm not going to jump for joy about that. I love speed. Speed's upside. Anytime you have speed, that's not something you can teach. Good to know you're fast. The other 2, much more interested in particular, Wilson. If you think about what we've added to the list here, Caden Lyles, the offensive lineman from Wisconsin, good job. I'm gonna apply to Caden Lyles what I did to Dylan Gibbons, which is you were recruited to a place where they have an abundance of very successful offensive linemen, which means at the very least coming out of high school, you had that kind of potential to be recruited by programs that have consistently produced NFL linemen. Probably means by default, you're one of the best we're going to have the day you arrive on campus. And I said that about Dylan Gibbons, and that hence the argument that Ira and I had with Corey. But we said, even though Dylan's a backup, he got recruited to play offensive line at Notre Dame. All they do is produce NFL talent. He's got to be good. And he was our best lineman this year. So maybe Caden Lyles has that kind of an impact. I certainly hope so. Bless Harris, what you know about Bless Harris, I just hope he's good because I want to say that as often as possible.
Yeah, hopefully he's in your top 7 rotation.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
it's a
oh, he came
rotational
in for
guy.
a couple snaps. All right, there you go, bless.
Yeah. Greedy Vance, we've seen play. We know Greedy Vance. So, okay, fine. And, we talked about Pittman. I don't know what to think of Pittman. The pedigree's great. I would assume that there's real upside there. I don't know what happened at Oregon in terms of you turn your back on your team or not, whatever you want to say what that is. I'll judge him spring. We'll see what that is.
Right. But you just, with how horizontal this passing game is with the screens.
Yeah, not vertical.
that you break, but it can be now as you've got a couple of guys that might be able to,
Yeah.
win a one-on-one. But now those screens that were dead in the water without Jordan being,
Correct.
just Superman, making 2 or 3 guys miss and then fire the ball. Like, you can legit throw a bubble now. You can legit throw a tunnel.
Yeah,
Because you've
guys
got a
are
guy
willing
like
to block.
that.
You got more
Right.
than one guy that's willing to block. I mean, we had some guys.
Yeah,
last
McLean
year.
was good. Yes,
McLean
yeah,
carried the block. He
that's
carried
the best
the block.
thing that Kentron did.
Oh, without question.
Kentron was all right at blocking.
Yeah, he was.
But think about that now. Okay, so you put, let's just say, Kentron with Johnny. McLean's on the other side with Pittman, and you've got a 5-wide look. You can go to the left with Span or Ja'Kai Douglas or whoever you want, and you feel like you might actually win that play. You might actually seal a couple of blocks, make one guy miss, gain of 8, gain of 12, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be that Jordan made 3 dudes miss, or you run the zone read or read option game that gets Jordan hit. Okay, now you're adding to the plays that Jordan is likely not injured. See how these dominoes fall? This is beautiful.
I want to ask you my original point to start the segment. It's at the very least, our base understanding of expectation for the season is that you do not have a losing record.
Yes, because that includes 6 and 6. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because the defensive line is going to be worse. That's
Well,
the problem.
it always was. I mean, we knew
but
that
I mean,
immediately.
so much so that you might be markedly better on offense, and who knows, you can't get off the field on 3rd down.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We're not done. We're not done bringing guys in
I
on
know.
that defensive line.
Well, that Rising Spear program, now's the time.
Let's find a dude. It's the new year. You're thinking to yourself, I really let myself go at the end of last year. The heavy season just killed me. Don't worry about it. The heavy season kills all of us. I've always called football season the heavy season. You can't help yourself. Wings are good. Hanging out with friends and having cold beers while I watch football doesn't suck.
The wings aren't necessarily bad. It's just the tubs of ranch and blue cheese.
Or blue cheese. Yeah, whatever it might be, whatever your paradise is. So, I got it. The wings are good. Sometimes you sprinkle in some fries with those wings, and you're going to wash it down. Tall, cold Budweiser. So the point would be, at that point, you think season over, got to get it together. Got to drop the 15 that I gained during the heavy season. Orange Theory Fitness, first class is free. I go there. That should be enough for you. Orange Theory Fitness, there's one on Thomasville Road. There's also one in Village Square Boulevard. So either way, make it happen. Go check them out. Give them a call today, 850-210-0503. Find out more about what I'm talking about. It's not as intimidating as you think when you get in there and you realize everybody's pulling in the same direction, that it's scientific back, so it's going to work. That kind of interval training is used in college football, in fact. So come on, man. Come join me. Orange Theory Fitness.
Your local news now.
A man is dead after shooting in Jackson County early Friday morning. Officers responded to a call of shots being fired at 12:55 a.m. in the town of Malone. The sheriff's office said upon its arrival to the scene, an individual was found in the front yard of a residence, having suffered at least one gunshot wound. Emergency medical personnel pronounced the victim deceased at the scene. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the Jackson County Sheriff's Office are actively investigating this incident. If you have any information related to the shooting, contact the JCSO Criminal Investigations Division at 850-482-9624. Leaders of Florida's university system are urging students and workers on campus to wear masks, get vaccinated with a booster shot, and get tested for COVID-19 when needed when they return to campus. The chair of the Board of Governors and chancellor of the university system said in an open letter that everyone in Florida's 12 public university campuses must stay vigilant since it's clear the pandemic is not over. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Frobley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A blend of clouds and sun this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 52. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows around 36. Tonight, mainly clear skies. High of 62 tomorrow. Mid-60s Wednesday, turning warmer Thursday with highs in the upper 60s and showers possible. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 41.
Our partners at ISF know you want to do amazing things. You have big ideas and goals for the future. For over 40 years, ISF has focused on solving the future for state government through strategy, process, and technology. As a national management and IT consulting firm, ISF has the expertise to transform strategies, refine processes, and implement solutions to lead you in today's changing environment. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. If you weren't the owner of Gordo's and all those wonderful restaurants, Eddie, what would you be doing?
I think I'd want to be I don't know what I'd want to be, a boat captain or a cowboy.
You know how to use a lasso?
No.
You'd have to do that if you were a cowboy.
Yeah, but I've never even been on a horse. It's not my place to be on a horse.
I agree. And the horse thanks you. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
We have Brian Kilmeade from 9 until noon.
Now, most of you are vaccinated. To me, that shows the country's right on track, right? Because you cannot mandate 350 million people to do anything. I'll add this. If the durability of this vaccine is what Israel's showing, them 9 to 12 months, if you think this is bad, now you're going to have to get everybody back again for boosters or another vaccinations on a regular basis, the way you're dividing the country right now, Mr. President? You got to be kidding me.
Tune in for the Brian Kilmeade Show, live from 9 till noon on Real Talk 93.3.
Probably the best.
It's a fun one. That one,
that's really exciting.
Duke ACC championship. Oddly enough, so for a game that was probably least interesting out of that whole run in 2013, that was the best montage. But I agree. It's up there with the ding ding. I really like the ding ding with the Brooklyn State of Mind with Jay-Z.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've got an agreed upon basis here on January the 3rd for what we're operating under heading into next season. Now the trick is to get us from now until the spring game. You don't have to project ahead to the start of the season in the big Duquesne matchup, but rather you have to project ahead to the spring game, which we were already excited about and have been lately because there have been so many new faces, and this year will be no different.
I think, the best thing that ever happened to spring football coverage is the transfer portal.
It is the best thing that ever happened to spring
There's
football
turnover
by far.
An extra 5 to 10% of your roster.
It's insane. Like, who's that kid? That's one of the transfers. Okay. Yeah, that's it's true. I think I think that for Florida State, again, they're not even close to done, right? How many more players do you think they'll add in the transfer portal?
At least 5 more.
I was going to say 5, bare minimum.
Yeah, easily. And that's, again, the hard part is from here on out, unless something happens like today or tomorrow, that you can't enroll them for this semester. I think maybe ad drop goes through Friday. Mm-hmm. I forget. It's been 15 years.
Been a long time.
But yeah, if ad drop goes through this Friday, then maybe you have this entire week to get somebody here on campus and good to go for spring football. But I mean, Michael said this for Warchant months ago. This is not over till the summer. Remember, Dylan Gibbons was basically a summer edition.
Yeah. Yes. And he came in. He was out of shape. I was appalled. As you recall, it was the very first thing I said to you.
Document that.
I went, my God, just get it together, young man.
Unlike Kelvin Benjamin, who came in the worst shape I've ever seen. Now he's a freshman.
He looked like an NFL tight end who was overweight.
God. Yes.
For an NFL tight end.
He had the Carmelo Anthony potbelly going,
man.
too. I was like, oh, no, he's not playing this year.
The greatest.
But Dylan worked himself into shape. He was forced to because we don't have a depth chart, but he got himself going there.
By week 3.
Yeah.
I would say this, Tom. The greatest in shape, out of shape watch of all time is one Jameis Winston from football to baseball. Always the best. It was a stuff your face smorgasbord after every every season.
Yeah. Yep.
He would take the hill for Florida State baseball and we'd go, oh my God, My man's 280.
He would go from like, quarterback, kind of a strong jawline, not
Yeah.
like Ponder. Ponder was like a
Yeah.
statue. But and
Oh,
then
that was-
you'd have like the goatee that kind of sticks out, just like a little poof.
Yeah.
In like the neck
Rolls?
The neck rolls. Yeah.
And the pants were always too tight. The belly would be hanging over the pants.
Yep. As he's doing the robot walking by for the pregame.
And throwing 92-mile-per-hour sliders.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
At 92 with those baseballs with the high seams too. So it would have been a 95 with the current baseball they have in college.
He was absurd. I remember one time, I don't think Meat will be upset with me talking about this. I remember one time I called Mike Martin Jr. and I said, "Hey man, I know you guys are going to be asking James to drop some LBs. What's he at right now?" He's like, "Well, we're working on it." And I go, "Well, what's he at? I wanted to know what he was at." And he's like, "Well, and we're working on it. We're getting him there. We get,
We're talking about Jameis Winston.
And I said, "Come on, man, it's me." I think the period, has gone enough time has gone by that I can say he was coming in there for baseball like 260. Now he's a huge dude.
Right. Yeah.
James is a big dude. And you really don't realize how big James is till you stand next to him. Like I stood next to him down there in Tampa at Legacy Field or Legion. It's Legacy Field, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yankees,
Steinbrenner now.
Whatever.
They call it
Yeah.
Steinbrenner. Yeah.
So
Used to be Legends Field.
Legends Field. I said Legacy. Listen to me. So yeah, when I was down there, I hate the Yankees. So when I was down there, they were playing the Yankees in that game and in the exhibition game, and you stand next to him in a locker room, like, and you realize, oh, that's a big damn dude. He's lean as hell now, but
still, he's
still
wide
big.
enough that like in
big
defensive ends, if you don't square him up, they'll bounce off of him. Even still.
Oh yeah, no, he's big. He's strong. Well, he gets out of
no,
yes.
260 feels actually kind of generous.
No, I think he was 260, 265. He was
getting his Levon Hernandez on.
A lot of power behind this slider coming your way.
You know what, though? That's one thing I noticed yesterday in the Under Armour game that I really liked was AJ Duffy does not look like a wiry kid who it's going to take 2 years in the weight room to get him to where he can take a college football punishment. That's the other, he looks more fluid than I thought he would. I don't think he's a finished product by any means.
No, not even
Josh
close.
Storms will go to work on him, but he doesn't look like a toothpick. A lot of times you get 4 stars and 5 stars come and you go, oh God, the kid's a toothpick. They're going to break him in half. He looks like he could take a hit if he has to.
Yeah, and he's not going to play next year, so it's not
This
going
is
to
true.
matter. It's not going to matter. They got plenty of time. He's a bigger kid. I just, if you think what happened, going back to Chuba, like the first thing that happened was that dude came in and got hurt.
But he looked a little bit more like a toothpick. Even this year in camp, when you interview him, like, man, this offensive line, I don't know.
Yeah, well, at least he could move.
You're going to take a lot, but
yeah,
that body's going to take that. No, I don't know. I don't think they can take that kind of punishment.
Tests have confirmed, unfortunately, Dallas Cowboys wide receiver Michael Gallup torn ACL in the left knee there. That is confirmed this afternoon. That stinks. That's insult to injury or injury to insult because they lost to the Arizona Cardinals with an offense that looked a little shaky.
That was such a weird play, too.
Mhm.
It wasn't like a plant leg he got rolled up on or anything like that. He was just running a route, catches the touchdown. He lands on it weird, but there's nothing apparent that shows that this is the moment. But when he grabbed for the leg, you go, oh, geez.
By the way, is it not abundantly clear to you and everybody else with eyes that Tony Pollard is a much better running back
it's
than
been-
Ezekiel Elliott? What are we waiting on? Why do they keep doing this?
That was like a groundswell movement in September amongst Cowboys fans.
But just watching the games casually, you're like, this isn't even close. Zeke's not right.
So it's funny as Matthew and I were talking about the playoff tree because now he's a part of it. The Eagles are in there.
Welcome in, buddy.
And I thought I was telling him about the scenarios of how you've got Rams and 49ers, and that's a big game for, the top 4 seeds in the NFC. And then Saturday night, because now there are 2 games on Saturday this weekend, and Saturday night is Eagles and Cowboys. And I told him, I think even if it means we're at the 3, the Buccaneers, I'd kind of want to stay at the 3 if that keeps LA at the 2. You don't want to play Dallas because here's what Dallas will do against the Bucs. They're not going to try and run. So therefore, they're going to be better. Therefore, they're going to be a much better offense because they're not going to pound their head against the wall saying Zeke can get it when he can't.
No, he can't for sure. I would also just say this, by the way. I'm so glad, and then we'll go to break. I'm so glad that it worked out for the Bengals, but Zach Taylor could have been sued for coaching malpractice. What are we doing? 4th and 1 from the 1 going for, you need a field goal to win. 45 seconds. What are you doing? If he doesn't get bailed out with a penalty there and they don't score and lose and over, what is he doing? No, you can't treat your defense like they're children. 40 seconds. Kansas City would have got the ball back with less than 40 seconds to play. You can't hold somebody for 38 seconds.
Well, let me ask you this. And then how did you feel about Bruce going for 2?
Oh, I was fine with that.
You're okay with that?
Because we gave up a long kickoff return the last time we took a lead late. Remember that? And we've been terrible about that. And they would have only needed a field goal to tie. So I figured this way.
For the tie, like, don't you think you're going to win it over? Okay. All right.
No.
I hear you there. But on the Cincinnati thing, I was okay with it until they're calling fades and they're in the gun. What is that?
No, exactly. But they also tried to sneak and got stuff. They got bailed out twice. One of them was a penalty. The other one was not.
The one on the head?
Oh, that's nonsense. Let's play football out here. Stop that nonsense. I felt bad for them. And I hate the Chiefs. I don't hate the Chiefs, but
I was going to say, maybe the Yankees, the Chiefs.
No, I don't hate
a lot of
the Chiefs.
hatred.
It's not true. I don't hate the Chiefs. I had to temporarily hate the Chiefs while we were playing them in the Super Bowl, and I guess there's a hangover. But I
lasted 10 minutes. That game was over.
Well, I know it was over pretty quick. Really, I hate Tyreek Hill. But so the point is, you kick that field goal there and you make a stop on the kickoff return, or you kick it out of the end zone, and they've got 38 seconds. Now, I know Superman's on the other side, but the entire second half, they couldn't move the ball. You don't do it. You don't.
Funny.
You just don't do it.
Your Florida room was quite loud yesterday.
I just couldn't believe it. I was like, "What are you doing, my man?
Yeah,
You have got to take the lead."
That
there.
one got to you.
Well, it bothered me. That didn't make any sense. You score there. They're going to get the ball back with under 40 seconds. If it's a minute plus, maybe I'm working on you a little bit there. I can maybe see it there. You screw it. We're going to go for it here and win it. Probably about 40 seconds at most.
Ooh, that's tough. What is Patrick Mahomes' skills worth to you in terms of yardage versus time?
I'm in a dime. I'm keeping it all in front of me. They don't have time. I don't know, man. In that weather, you're going to have to get close to kick a field goal. I don't think so. I'm kicking that field goal. I just was nervous for him because I like him overall. I like that team. I like what they've accomplished. I like Joe Burrow a lot, who, by the way, I mean, again, of all the young quarterbacks, if you're sitting there just looking at guys, you think, this projects nicely. How about my man throwing for over 500 yards a week ago and then goes 30 of 39 for 446 the next week?
Against a defense that doesn't give that up.
Who hasn't been giving it up.
Yeah.
My man's got 36 touchdowns and 4,631 yards passing the year after having a devastating knee injury. No, he's a freak. Come back, wrap it up momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show.
Applications, onboarding, payroll, termination. Business owners and managers, these are the processes that take away too much time from what you do best. But what if there was a locally owned, responsive solution that would charge you a fraction of the big national payroll companies? Sound too good to be true? It's not. North Florida Payroll Services is Tallahassee owned for nearly 15 years. And in that time, their prices have never changed. The reason North Florida Payroll Services can do that? Exceptional customer service that constantly evolves with the latest technology. From application to termination, for turnkey service for your payroll and HR services, trust a Tallahassee expert and save yourself time and money. North Florida Payroll Services. Online at northfloridapayroll.com.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick. Professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com.
Hey guys, it's Greg Tish here. If you know me, you know how much I love to grill, smoke, and cook outside. With the holidays just right around the corner and the cooler weather, there's nothing better than a backyard fire pit or a custom outdoor kitchen. But where do you start? Well, you start at Hearth and Patio of Tallahassee. They have everything for gas grilling, charcoal, standalone grills, built-ins, custom kitchens, unique high-end fire pits, and you can even build your own pizza oven. And don't forget about maintaining your indoor fireplace. If it hasn't been used in a while, it's a good idea to have Hearth and Patio come take a look at it to make sure it's safe to use. Or you can replace the whole thing and transform the look and style of your room. If it has anything to do with fire, you need to call Hearth and Patio. Write this number down. It's 727-4282. That's 727-4282. Or you can always check out their website to view all their products and services at hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
Live and living color and totally free. Subscribe to Warchant TV on YouTube, the digital home of Warchant.com. From the practice field to pregame and the phone calls afterwards, Warchant's YouTube channel is home to live programming like Seminole Headlines, Wake Up Warchant, The Jeff Cameron Show, as well as Trench Talk, a live Q&A with Noles offensive lineman Devontae Love-Taylor. Just search Warchant on YouTube and click or tap the subscribe button. That's it. It's totally free. Warchant TV on YouTube. Just another reason we're the ultimate Seminole sports source.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Offering payroll and HR services, including full online applicant onboarding and integration into payroll. Save your company money and headaches today. Head to northfloridapayroll.com.
Hey, Big Daddy, having some Red Russians tonight?
We'll know in about 47 seconds.
To an open wing. It's picked up by Dowdy, an empty net. He scores.
Hot damn, Big Daddy's done it again. Red Russians all around, Teddy. All right, Big Daddy.
At the time that I jumped on it, I got Iowa -8 over Maryland tonight, college basketball. I think it's moved to 9. That's fine. Lay the 9. Take Iowa, giving the 9 to Maryland. NHL, Tom, anything from you, sir?
Yeah, the Rangers are playing really good hockey right now.
You know who's not? The Lightning.
That's correct. The Rangers have taken the Lightning down 2 times in a row.
4-3 and 4-0.
And it's Edmonton in the Garden tonight. Rangers have a good goaltender tandem, so I would trust them. Rangers straight up money line to beat Edmonton. You can get it at +110 right now. I feel like that's a value.
I got a look ahead for you as well, by the way. I would I'll save it. I'm not going to touch it. I feel pretty good about the 49ers +5.5 against the Rams.
Okay.
I feel pretty good about that. I do too. I like that. That's a little look ahead line.
Well, the Rams haven't beaten them in 5 attempts, I think
It's
it is.
a bad matchup. Bad matchup for them. How cool is it? We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I love Raiders-Chargers to get into the playoffs. That's what you do, everybody. What a win for the Raiders on the road.
That was an eye-opening victory.
It's a huge victory.
Yeah.
And then you've got these two teams who used to be miles apart, hate each other, for the chance to go to the playoffs. Great game. I'd really hate to see the Chargers uniforms not make it to the postseason.
I just wish that division had its own little tournament after Week 18 that we could watch the next weekend because it's entertaining. I mean, I know that Denver's had health issues at the quarterback position in the last 3-4 weeks, but still, that was a great division this year. Just a lot of fun to watch every week.
I agree. College basketball bets throughout the week on the College Sportsbook. I'll have some for you coming up, so you'll want to check that, like, and subscribe to the College Sportsbook. Good job, Tom Lang. Good job, Matthew. That was fun. Today was good. Good to be back.
It felt weird. That's how long it's been, right? If it feels like a fish out of water thing that you've been out of the studio for a little while.
Well, you have a lot of buttons to push. I just jumped back on my horse and was good to go.
It's the den lighting. I feel like that's the number one winner today.
The den lighting wins. Everybody loved the den lighting.
Not just Preservation Financial, but the den lighting. I even got a text from Jamie. She said, man, the lighting's good today.
The lighting looks good, doesn't it? Yeah, it really brings out the best of me.
You need that backlighting.
I got to answer that question, Chris. Later on, I'll do it. He asked a question about, by the way, that had nothing to do with AB's bonuses. He didn't want to go back out there because his foot was sore. He was told to go back out there. He wouldn't go. But that's a popular narrative. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew, as well. Be good, everybody.